All right, let's start. Plenty to talk about. The US and China have declared a truce on their 2-year trade war. A lot of relief and deep breaths from those in the financial world. They signed an agreement that Trump is describing as a landmark deal.
Today we take a momentous step, one that has never been taken before with China, toward a future of fair and reciprocal trade as we sign phase 1 of the historic trade deal between the United States and China.
Daisy, it's only phase 1, so we've got to keep calm. But even the ABC was reporting today that America got a better deal out of this first tranche than China did. They keep saying he's a loser, he's got to get out of the White House, but I tell you what, he keeps making America great again.
He does. I think he has done extremely well on this China issue. I mean, this has effectively been a 2-years-long staring contest with neither world leader being willing to blink. And finally, it seems that China has been the first to blink, in a manner of speaking. It's taken a huge amount of tenacity to get through this issue like that. And there are, of course, going to be critics of phase 1. As you've said, you know, it is only the first phase. There will be a phase 2 coming up, although they don't believe they'll reach that before the November election. It is certainly a step in the right direction, and even I, as someone who has nothing to do with economics, even I know how unstable this has made the markets here and there over the course of the last couple of years. So I think there will be a lot of people who are incredibly relieved. And the thing about President Trump is that he does what he says he's going to do. He said he would get a good enough deal for the US with China, and he's done it. He said he'd build the wall, and against all odds, somehow it's starting to be built. So many things he's done, and I think he really should be celebrating today, because I think this is great news.
He scares the willies out of us when he goes down the path of these negotiations, because he starts from a very inflammatory base, but he ends up getting what he wants in the end. However, it'll be interesting to see whether China can keep to its promises, and one of the promises will be an intention to stop, you know, copyright and certain products being ripped off, as China has done for the past 30 years, Caroline.
Yeah, that is, look, China has been very liberal with other people's IP for a very long time, and that has helped it contribute to their economy. Now, there's a couple of points here. At the moment, I think it's restricted to trade secret protection. There are other issues as well which are not captured by this deal. Whether they increase the penalties or not is one thing. The other thing then is enforcement as well. So it's all well and good to have the penalties. Whether China actually enforces against its own companies or state-owned entities, we'll have to wait and see.
You do business with overseas entities, including China, and I've lived in China, and they have Westfield-size department stores that sell nothing but IP ripped-off goods. 3 stories of them. And it's going to take a lot to change that attitude, Caroline.
It is going to it's going to take a huge amount to change that attitude, and the thing is now, and for example, you know, luxury handbags I think is the prime example there. The counterfeits have become so good, and even these counterfeit luxury good handbags are not cheap. It's not like the bad old days when you'd pick up a $20 bag in Bali. You are now paying, you know, $300, $400, $500, $600 for a counterfeit handbag, which is still quite well made, but is a counterfeit, but it's still cheaper than the $7,000 original.
And there are some shoes that are being made that look like, you know, expensive Nikes that are also expensive, and you can't tell the difference between them. Now,